You are watching William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The Pioneer softball team is just a few weeks from gracing the diamond again, and Justin, Jimmy, Steven, and Chris are here to break down the upcoming season. Fellas, the Pioneer softball team went 23-15 in 2018. Good record, still could be improved upon. Justin, we'll go to you first. What are some improvements you want to see the team make?
Well, if we take a look at what we all think should be improved, for me, I want to see better power numbers. Last year they had 38 doubles, 20 triples, 11 home runs, and a .409 team slugging percentage. That's good. There's always room for improvement. Now, they only had they had two players with double-figure home runs. You want to see that go up so this high-powered offense can score even more and drive in more runs.
Jimmy?
You know, if there's one thing you never want to do as a player, it's give up free bases. Last year, this team had .958 fielding percentage. Solid, but definitely room for improvement there. Sydney Pace at that shortstop position had 12 errors, and you know that becomes a liability after a while. If your opponent gets on because they fall off a good pitch, good for them. But don't give away free bases. So I want to see this Pioneer team improve their defense in the field, and I think they could be a very solid team.
Chris?
I think that they need to improve their conference record, very much so. They were 10-8 last year in conference. I think 12-6 would be perfectly fine for this year. They left some conference games out on the diamond. I feel like instead of splitting, going 1-1 with some of these matchups, they can just clean sweep some of these teams.
Steven?
You saw on the graphic I threw on there, who's up next? And I put that for a reason. Arguably the top two players from our team, Eleni Lutas and Kara Molnar, they graduated, unfortunately. You look at the stats, they combined for 30% of all team hits and almost 50% of all extra base hits. I need someone or multiple players to fill in those shoes. Who's going to become the leader? Who's going to motivate this team to win? Because we have a pretty young team now, which is nice, but they still need that definite leader.
And Steven, you posed that question, who's up next? Who do you have for a key player going into the season for the Pioneers?
I had a lot here, but Jimmy, you mentioned early, Sydney Pace, shortstop. Overall, a very solid player. She started 35 of 38 games last year. She had 260, 26 hits. She's a consistent hitter, hits for power, can hit for contact. The one knock, like you said, though, the errors. She had 12 errors, the most on the team, one of the lowest fielding percentages on the team, and this is shortstop, probably the most important position in the infield. So if she can improve, I think she's a definite leader going forward.
Chris?
For me, it's Caitlin Mazzaro. Why is it Caitlin Mazzaro? She plays first base, she does a little bit of pitching, but I think her bat is so important to this team's lineup, right in the middle. She's going to be hitting about, fifth. She's not Christine Griffin hitting third, batting in all the runs, but she's going to be able to bring Christine Griffin and friends home when she's hitting fifth, sixth. She's going to have a perfect opportunity for RBIs at that spot in the lineup.
Jimmy?
I'm going to go with junior Andy Lupica. Andy Lupica is a dual threat player. She plays second base and she can pitch. As a pitcher, she posted a 3.6 ERA, very solid. Had 3.5 win-loss record, but that's very overrated when it comes to a pitcher. She pitched 2 complete games in 9 starts, and as a batter, she hit 353 in 51 at-bats and posted a 450 on-base percentage. Very solid numbers from both ends of the field. And I think she can absolutely be one of the big-name players on this team.
Justin?
Well, for me, it has to be Christine Griffith. Chris, you alluded to her before, but she is the heart and soul of this lineup. She bats about third or fourth, depending on the game. Now, she was the triples leader and home run leader, hits leader, and RBI leader. She almost missed out on the team triple crown with average. She batted .355. She's very good at third base, so she's going to have a major impact on how this team succeeds lineup-wise.
Certainly, by the sound of it, we all have high hopes for the softball team going into the season. Justin, we'll go with you here. Give me a bold prediction for the season for the team.
I think they'll have 7 Pioneers bat over 300. Now, last year they had 5, and now they finished the year with 2 players at 297 and 278. So obviously they can get there. So if they can get more players on base and raise that average a little bit more, they'll score more runs, and this offense, who knows what could happen then.
Jimmy?
Last year, this Pioneers team finished 23-15, like you said earlier. And Steve, you mentioned that they lost some of their best players, but we saw this team still has some very solid players. I think this team can absolutely win at least 26 games, can improve on their record last year, and be one of the best teams in the NJAC.
Steven?
For me, I'm going to be a little bold here. They're going to finish as a top 3 NJAC team. They finished 6th last year, but they were only 2 games behind Rowan, who was the 2nd seed. The only team they have to worry about is TCNJ. TCNJ went 16-2 in the conference last year. I mean, that's absurd to say the least. They won 10-8 in the NJAC last year. Like I said, they were only 2 games out of the 2nd seed. And like we said, they have the players in place. The coaching staff for the softball team, tremendous. Just legendary coaches all around. I think it's going to be a very up year for the Pioneers.
Chris, finish it off for us.
Andy Lupica will be this team's ace by the end of the season. She started about 9 games last year. I expect at least double. Wouldn't be surprised to see her start 20 games. She's going to spend a lot of the time in that circle. It's not a mound. It's a softball field, so it's a circle. I was thinking of a way to say it, but I got to say the circle. So Andy Lupica will dominate the circle this year for the Pioneers.
Sounds great. Well, good luck to all our Pioneers over the coming week. We hit the hardwood with the NBA right after the break. Keep it locked.